The Yinan family was on the brink of being annihilated by the Black Flame Sect. Unexpectedly, at the critical moment, Xiao Yan once again arrived just in time to save the day. Picking up where we left off with Xiao Yan's assistance, the Dou Zun of Fire finally succeeded in emerging with Yunchan's physical form and began to regain his dun status. Faced with the heavenly dragon mystic array unleashed by a dozen strong fighters from the Ice River Valley, the Dou Zun of Fire merely struck once and shattered it all due to the backlash of the array. The elite disciples of the Ice River Valley were all struck down, collapsing to the ground as if hit by a heavy blow. At this moment, the Elder Sky Serpent, who had just steadied himself, was also filled with a look of horror. He had not anticipated that the great array, condensed by the power of all of them, could not even last round in the hands of the Dou Zun of Fire. It seemed that a dozen could indeed not be defeated by sheer numbers with the protection of the Dou Zun of Fire. Elder Sky Serpent also realized that the plan to capture the Woeful poison body girl was likely to fail if he stayed here any longer. He might really fall into this place now. He could only go back first to report to the Valley Head and discuss a new strategy after making up his mind. Elder Sky Serpent did not hesitate any longer and immediately punched a pitch-black spatial passage behind him, intending to leave. Seeing this situation, the Dou Zun of Fire did not wait for Xiao Yan's reminder and suddenly raised his PB and fiercely gripped the spatial passage. The passage quickly collapsed under this invisible and terrifying force. The sudden change also greatly changed the expression of Elder Sky Serpent, whose eyes flashed with fierceness as he sucked 3 unprepared elders of the Ice River Valley to his side, with the terrifying cold air entering their bodies. The 3 people's bodies also rapidly expanded and then exploded with a bang. With the interference of the cold ice waves, he finally shattered the invisible force of the Dou Zun of Fire. As the spatial passage resumed its rotation, the pale-faced Elder Sky Serpent quickly dove into it as his figure disappeared. A venomous and chilling voice also slowly came out of the spatial passage. "Today's matter is definitely not over. You are waiting for the Ice River Valley to hunt you," looking at the successful escape of Elder Sky Serpent. The Dou Zun of Fire also frowned slightly. He did not expect that this person had not yet reached the Dou Zun level, but he could actually cut through space to escape. Moreover, he also underestimated the ruthlessness of Elder Sky Serpent, who was willing to use 3 dozen elders as human bombs for his own escape. The Dou Zun of Fire, after all, had just obtained a physical body, although his soul power had become much stronger in an instant. The DOI within his body was not something that could be completely restored in such a short time. Moreover, the previous battle was entirely relying on his soul power. Otherwise, Elder Sky Serpent would not have been able to escape now that the crisis has been successfully resolved. Scene plans to address Little Fairy Doctor's woeful poison body issue. As long as her problem is resolved, then there will be 2 dunes at that time, even facing the Ice River Valley. They would have the strength to fight. However, the Divine Fall Gorge is not a suitable place because the poison here is too dense. If the woeful poison body rebounds, it may bring some unpredictable troubles. According to San, he must find a place with extreme young energy so that he can suppress the woeful poison body and increase the chances of success. The Dous of Fire and Little Fairy Doctor both fell into deep thought upon hearing this, because such a place seems not easy to find in Dan City. As Xiao Yan and his companions pondered, Yinan, standing beside them, mentioned that her family, the Ye clan, had a place called the Yang Fire Ancient Altar. Renowned for its intense Yanggong energy, it was said that this location had an earth vein for which occasional flames would emerge. When these flames met the concentrated sunlight, they would transform into a fire. Although this young fire wasn't as formidable as the heavenly flames, it was still much more potent than ordinary beast flames. The Yi clan often utilized this young fire and alchemy to enhance their success rates. Yinlan's tone turned regretful as she explained that the young fire ancient altar had drawn the greedy eyes of many factions in Dan City towards the now declining Yi clan. Hearing this, Xiao Yan frowned. Recalling his previous unpleasant encounters with the Ye clan members, he doubted they would allow him to use such a crucial place, the clan's forbidden ground. Sensing Xiao Yan's reservations, Shinan quickly assured him that the previous incident was due to them not recognizing his identity. She promised that if they visited again, the Ye clan would not dare to show any disrespect moreover. She revealed that the Yi clan had fallen so far that her grandfather was their only remaining 7th-tier alchemist, a level of strength insufficient to keep them among the top 5 families of Dan City. Without seeking external help, they would inevitably be devoured by other forces in Shan's eyes, who could be a better ally than Saiyan. Despite his young age, he had already reached the 7th tier in alchemy, a feat that rivaled even the Qiao clan's once-in-a-century prodigy. Xiao Yan hesitated for a moment before nodding slightly. If the young fire ancient altar could indeed help resolve the issue of little fairy doctor's woeful poison body, he would assist the Yi clan out of respect for Shenwan. With that, they followed Shenwan towards a family. Upon arriving at the Yi clan, they found the main hall in complete disarray. Members of the Ye clan were writhing on the floor in agony, indicating a fierce battle had just occurred at the head of the hall. Yong sat with a face as dark as thunder, while opposite him stood a group of black-clad figures. What surprised Sui and the most were the 2 old men leading the group. Their FA is grim, and their powerful DOI rippling around them, judging by their aura scene, estimated them to be at the peak of the 6-star Dune level, even stronger than Yan, the Yi clan's great elder. According to Yan'an, these people were from the Black Flame Sect, one of the black-clad elders. His voice horse addressed Yong, saying, "We are here under the orders of our sect master to incorporate your Yi clan. If you submit, the Black Flame Sect will not mistreat you. If you refuse, then please accept these coffins." Xiao Yan, leaning against the door with narrowed eyes, observed the scene in the hall. It seemed the Black Flame Sect showed no mercy in their actions. He counted the coffins. There was one more than the number of Ye clan members in the hall, likely intended for Yinan beside him. Xinlan's delicate hands were tightly clenched, her body trembling with rage. After a moment, her expression turned despondent as her strength was insufficient to change anything. Yinan pleaded, "Brother Xiao Yan, please help the Ye clan. As long as the Ye clan survives, I am willing to do anything." Little fairy doctor standing nearby shook her head with a hint of pity at Shenlan's plight. She reassured her, "Don't worry, you haven't just met him today. You know what kind of person he is." Meanwhile, in the hall, Yong was also deeply shaken by the ruthless tactics of the Black Flame Sect. Staring at the cold coffins, a sense of despair washed over his face. Could it be that the once prominent Ye clan was truly about to fall under his watch? The black-clad elder threatened. "You have 5 minutes to decide. The lives of all the members of the Ye clan are in your hands." At these words, Yong's body trembled. The current power of the Black Flame Sect was far beyond what his Ye clan could contend with. The atmosphere in the hall grew increasingly oppressive with Yong's silence, and the 5 minutes passed quickly in this tense quiet. The black-clad elder declared, "Yon, you brought this upon yourself. You can't blame us for what happens next." However, just as the killing intent from the 2 elders grew increasingly intense, a soft sight echoed from the doorway. Xiao Yan's voice, filled with anger, commanded, "You have 1 minute to take these coffins and get out of Ye clan or stay here forever." At these words, everyone in the hall was stunned. They knew the 2 leading black-clad elders were at the 6-star Dou Zun level, and yet Scene spoke so nonchalantly, an extraordinary display of arrogance. Hearing this, the 2 black-clad elders immediately laughed to them. Sanair 2-star Dou Zun was ridiculously overconfident. Instantly, the DOI of the Black Flame Sect members surged forth, but before their fierce attacks could reach him, Xiao Yan's crystal lotus heartfire dispersed them all. The 2 elders were initially shocked by this, but their eyes soon filled with greed and excitement. Being renowned for their fur-controlling techniques, the Black Flame Sect was well aware of. "The prestige of the heavenly flames." One elder exclaimed, "Impressive boy to possess such a rare treasure, but since you've brought it here yourself, we'll gladly take it." With a shared glance, the 2 elders lunged at Xiao Yan simultaneously just as they moved. Xiao Yan sighed softly, "Time's up." As soon as he finished speaking, The figure of the Dou Zun of Fire mysteriously appeared with a wave of his sleeve, then overwhelmed Fing force crashed into the elders' chests like a tidal wave. Before they could react, they spewed blood and were sent flying backward. The hall fell into a sudden deathly silence as everyone stared nearly dumbfounded at the elderly figure beside Xiao Yan. With a mere casual wave, he had effortlessly defeated 2 6-star peak Dozone experts, a feat that was truly terrifying. Yong, standing nearby, was equally stunned by this unexpected turn of events. A dozi. Since when did the Ye clan have connections with such powerful individuals? Since the decline of the Ye clan, they had rarely had the means to enlist the help of a Daz expert, which is why they had been bullied by the Black Flame Sect. When Yong realized that the person was Xiao Yan, he couldn't help but gasp the last time they met. Xiao Yan only had a powerful puppet by his side now. In just 1 month, he had a dozen standing next to him. It was evident that Xin had significant backing, otherwise how could he have a Dou Zun accompanying him? Reflecting on how the Ye clan had nearly offended Xin previously, Yong felt a chill run down his spine. Meanwhile, the 2 Black Flame Sect elders scrambling to their feet were filled with dread. They clearly understood the terror of the earlier strike. Only a dozo could have defeated them so effortlessly. Such an existence was beyond the Black Flame Sect's ability to contend with. One of the black-clad elders, filled with fear, stammered, "Senior, we are elders of the Black Flame Sect. We did not recognize you today and have offended you. Please forgive us." Xiao Yan glanced coldly at the terrified pair and said, "Leave. If you come back, I'll come to the Black Flame Sect to settle the score." As soon as he spoke, the 2 elders fled under the astonished gazes of the Ye clan members. Even Yi Zhong needed a moment to regain his composure. He then solemnly bowed to Xin and said, "Mr. Xin, thank you for your assist. Please forgive the previous disrespect shown by the Yi clan." Xin waved off the apology and then explained the purpose of his visit. When Yihong learned that Xin sought to use the Yang Fire ancient altar, he immediately agreed. Though the Yi clan rules forbade lending it out, Xiao Yan had just rendered a great service to the Ye clan. Besides, clinging to old rules would only lead to the Yi clan's downfall. Yong then led Xiao Yan and his group to a large altar in the Ye clan square. He explained that beneath the altar was an earth vein from which flames occasionally emerged, merging with the concentrated sunlight to form Yang Fire. However, nowadays it's rare for the earth flames to emerge from the earth vein. Using other flames cannot ignite the sunlight to form Yangang Fire, which is the main reason for the Ye clan decline. Seelan nodded slightly upon hearing this. He wasn't specifically here to use the Yang Fire, but to leverage the pure heavenly energy in this place to suppress Little Fairy Doctor's woeful poison body. After instructing the Dou Zun of Fire to guard the exterior, Xiao Yan and Little Fairy Doctor entered the altar, feeling the pure and intense Yang energy enveloping them. Xiao Yan remarked, "This is indeed a good place. Even without his intervention, the natural energy here would suppress the woeful poison body, reducing the risk of it flaring up." As the sunlight intensified, the young energy within the altar grew stronger. Eventually, Little Fairy Doctor furrowed her brows as the race caused a burning sensation on her body. Seeing this, Xin smiled reassuringly and quickly took out the magic core of the heavenly poisonous scorpion dragon beast and a jade box containing the bolus of the body transformation saliva. Xiao Yan planned to use 3 types of heavenly flames to drive the poison within Little Fairy Doctor's body to a single point. This process would be extremely painful, and he urged her to endure it. If she couldn't get through the stage, the subsequent steps would be impossible. Seeing the seriousness on Xiao Yan's face, Little Fairy Doctor nodded gently. She knew Xiao Yan had spent years trying to resolve her woeful poison body. Now that everything was ready, she was determined to endure any pain, not wanting to waste Xiao Yan's efforts before proceeding. Xin needed to unseal the restraints within Little Fairy Doctor's body to fully unleash the woeful poison body. Even Xiao Yan couldn't help but tremble at this step, knowing that failure would mean her death. Noticing Xiao Yan's slightly trembling hands, Little Fairy Doctor softly said, "Xiao Yan, I trust you." Xiao Yan replied, "I've prepared for this day for so many years, I won't fail. Remove your clothes, I need to unseal the restraints." Hearing this, little fairy doctor's cheeks flushed bright red. However, seeing San's serious and emotionless expression, she slowly removed her clothes. After all, she had already been seen by him so many times that one morning time didn't make a difference, even though San tried to remain calm. His gaze flickered momentarily before he quickly regained his composure as the seals were lifted. Terrifying dark gray, poisonous mist suddenly burst forth from little fairy doctor's body. Her once gentle face became expressionless with traces of pain and struggle evident in her eyes, clearly indicating that she was fighting against the backlash of the woeful poison body. Seeing this, Salon summoned 3 types of heavenly flames, which penetrated little fairy doctor's skin and entered her body. The combined power of the 3 flames drove the rampant poison gas to her lower abdomen. The cayenne and white flames converged there, binding the poison like a vortex. On the other side was a deadly world, where even a Dou wouldn't dare to confront such potent poison directly. If not for Xiao Yan's control over the 3 heavenly flames, he would have been instantly corroded by the poison, let alone attempting to expel it. He then quickly grabbed the magic core of the heavenly poisonous scorpion dragon beast and pressed it against little fairy doctor's abdomen. The core slowly merged into the center of the gray poison gas. As the core successfully integrated, Xiao Yan's expression grew even more solemn. His gaze shifted to the jade box containing the bolus of the body transformation saliva, knowing that the next step was the most crucial.